I was 13 years old when Nathan destroyed me with 6 words. I had been clutching my honor roll certificate all day, waiting for the perfect moment to show him. My fingers were sweaty as I walked into the kitchen that evening, my heart pounding with hope. He was standing by the counter, drinking coffee, and scrolling through his phone. I held out the certificate with a shy smile. Nathan barely glanced at it before yanking it from my hands. He tossed it onto the counter like it was trash and looked me dead in the eye. "You are not my daughter. Don't expect anything from me." The words hit me like a slap. I looked at my mother, Hannah, who stood frozen by the sink. She said nothing. Nathan slammed the door on his way out. I stood there, tears burning my eyes, the certificate crumpled on the counter. Something inside me broke that day. But something else was born. I whispered to the empty kitchen, "One day, you'll remember those words." The years that followed were a slow burial of my spirit. Nathan made sure I knew my place in his house. Family photos were taken without me. Birthday celebrations were for Chloe, his biological daughter. My achievements were invisible. His praise was reserved for Chloe's average grades, while my perfect report cards gathered dust. I learned to become a ghost in my own home. My mother would hug me in secret, whisper apologies when Nathan wasn't looking, but she never stood up to him. She chose peace over protecting me. I stopped expecting anything from her too. I watched everything. I listened to every cruel comment, every dismissive gesture. I stored them all away. One night, I overheard Nathan on the phone in his office. His voice was cold and clear. "I don't owe that girl anything. She's just Hannah's baggage." I pressed my back against the hallway wall, letting those words sink into my bones. Baggage. That's what I was to him. When I was 17, I received my scholarship letter to college. My hands shook as I opened it in my bedroom. Full ride. My ticket out. I ran downstairs to share the news, still foolish enough to hope. Nathan barely looked up from his newspaper. "That school only picks the desperate," he said with a smirk. Chloe giggled from the couch. My mother found me later, packing my small suitcase in my room. She cried and congratulated me in whispers, like she was confessing a crime. The day I left, I carried one suitcase and a mountain of determination. As I walked to the car, Chloe appeared in the doorway. She was 16 and already becoming Nathan's perfect copy. "Dad says you'll come crawling back," she said, smirking. I didn't respond. I just got in the car and drove away, watching that house shrink in my rearview mirror until it disappeared completely. College was brutal. I worked 2 jobs while taking full course loads. My roommate Ruby became the first real friend I ever had. She noticed how I never talked about home, never went back for holidays. She never pushed, just offered quiet support. I discovered something unexpected during those struggling years. I was good at helping people. Really good. I started volunteering at a community center, counseling kids from broken homes. Kids who felt invisible, just like I had. It gave me purpose beyond survival. My pain had a use now. I could turn it into something that mattered. Late one night, during my junior year, I received a text from my mother. "Nathan's new business isn't going well. Things are changing here." I stared at that message for a long time. I felt nothing. No satisfaction. No sympathy. Just a quiet, growing clarity about who I was becoming and who I would never be again. Nathan's small construction business had been his pride. He had spent years bragging about it, telling anyone who would listen how successful he was. But I started hearing whispers through mutual connections. Reputation problems. Poor management decisions. Unhappy workers. Chloe posted dramatic rants on social media about financial stress and how unfair life was. I scrolled past them without emotion. The universe was handling Nathan without any help from me. What interested me more was my own path. I had earned an internship at a major family services nonprofit. They helped struggling families navigate assistance programs, grants, and support systems. I was good at the work. Strategic. Empathetic. Detailed. My supervisor noticed. Then something ironic happened. The same sector where I was building my reputation was the exact sector where Nathan would soon desperately need help. I didn't plan it. Life just has a sense of timing sometimes. By my senior year, I had become someone people talked about. My grant proposals were getting approved. My case management skills were sharp. I understood how systems worked and how to navigate them ethically. Anthony, a senior director at the nonprofit, became my mentor. He was the father figure Nathan never was. He saw potential in me and invested in my growth. My confidence grew with every project I completed. I was no longer the invisible girl from Nathan's house. I was Ivy, the rising star in family services. People respected my opinions. They valued my input. One afternoon, Anthony called me into his office. "We're expanding our family assistance programs," he said. "Have you ever worked directly with struggling families? Small business owners going through financial crisis?" My heart skipped. "I have some experience with that," I said carefully. "Good. We might need someone skilled in that area soon." The call from my mother came on a rainy Tuesday evening. Her voice was shaking, broken in a way I had never heard before. "Ivy, Nathan's business is collapsing. The house might be in jeopardy. I don't know what to do." I sat on my apartment floor, phone pressed to my ear, feeling nothing. "Why are you telling me this?" I asked quietly. She sobbed. "Because I need you to know I'm sorry. I should have protected you. I was afraid of him, afraid of being alone, afraid of everything. But I see now what I did to you by staying silent." It was the apology I had waited years to hear. But it felt hollow now, too late to matter. "Ivy," she whispered, "Nathan might reach out to you soon. He knows you're connected in the non-profit world now. He thinks you can help him." I closed my eyes. The universe's timing really was something. "We'll see," I said, and ended the call. The email arrived 3 days later. Formal. Cold. Professional. Nathan had clearly rehearsed every word. "Dear Ivy, I hope this message finds you well. I am reaching out regarding professional guidance for securing financial support programs for small businesses. Given your expertise in this area, I would appreciate any assistance you could provide. Regards, Nathan." No stepdad. No warmth. Just a business transaction. I stared at that email for an hour. My childhood wounds ripped open. The 13-year-old girl holding her honor roll certificate screamed inside me. I closed my laptop without responding. The next morning, Anthony stopped by my desk. "We have a new project. We're evaluating applicants for a major family assistance grant. Small businesses, homeowners in crisis. I need someone thorough to review these cases." He handed me a folder. "You up for it?" I took the folder. Absolutely. That night, I opened it. Nathan's business name was at the top of the list. I sat frozen, staring at his application. His business needed this grant to survive. Without it, he would lose contracts, workers, and eventually the house. The house I grew up in. The house where I was told I didn't matter. My hands trembled as I read through his financial disclosures. There were 2 other reviewers assigned to this case. I could pass it off. Walk away. Let someone else handle it. But something stopped me. This was my professional territory. I knew family services better than anyone on this team. And I knew Nathan better than any application could show. I requested a private meeting with Anthony. I need to disclose something, I said. One of the applicants is my stepfather. I can remain objective, but I want you to know. Anthony considered this carefully. Can you evaluate this fairly? No personal bias. I met his eyes. I can evaluate it based purely on facts and regulations. That's all. He nodded. Then I'm assigning you lead reviewer. I committed myself to complete fairness. No sabotage. No personal vendetta. Just pure professional evaluation. If Nathan's application was legitimate, I would approve it. If it wasn't, I would reject it based on facts alone. The ethical power I held was intoxicating, but I refused to abuse it. I spent days reviewing every document he submitted. Financial statements. Worker contracts. Safety records. Business plans. The more I reviewed, the clearer things became. Nathan had been sloppy. Careless. Arrogant. He had assumed his charm would carry him through inspections and regulations. It hadn't. I found discrepancies. Unpaid worker complaints. Misreported income. Safety violations that had been documented but never addressed. None of this was hidden or secret. It was all public record. Nathan had just never expected anyone to look closely. I documented everything meticulously. Then I discovered something that made my blood run cold. Nathan and Chloe were telling everyone I would save the family. They were already celebrating my help before I had even reviewed the case. The lies Nathan was spreading unraveled everything. According to mutual acquaintances, he was bragging that his stepdaughter worked in non-profits and would take care of everything. Chloe posted vague social media updates about family coming through when it matters. They had already written the ending to this story. They just assumed I would play my part. The invisible girl who always did what was expected. But I wasn't that girl anymore. I continued my review with surgical precision. Every unpaid worker became a documented note. Every safety violation became a red flag. Every misreported figure became evidence of mismanagement. I wasn't inventing problems. I was simply refusing to ignore them the way previous reviewers might have. By the end of my investigation, the picture was clear. Nathan's business didn't meet the grant requirements. Not because of bad luck or economic hardship. Because of his own incompetence and poor choices. I prepared my report. Factual. Unemotional. Professional. No personal commentary. Just regulations and reality. Nathan showed up at the non-profit building on a Thursday morning. I was in a conference room reviewing final applications when the receptionist called. "There's someone here to see you." Nathan Harris. My stomach dropped. I hadn't seen him in person in over 5 years. I walked to the lobby and found him standing there in an ill-fitting suit, wearing a forced smile. He didn't recognize me at first. I had changed. Grown up. Become someone completely different from the invisible girl he remembered. Then recognition hit him. His smile faltered. "Ivy. I didn't realize you worked here." "I do," I said simply. He tried small talk. Asked about school, my job, my life. Each question felt like a performance. I answered with professional distance, giving nothing personal. Finally, he cleared his throat. I'm here about my assistance application. I'm sure you've seen it. I have. And? We're family. You'll look out for us, right? The word, family, hung in the air between us like poison. I kept my voice calm and professional. I review cases based on facts, not family. Nathan's mask cracked. The forced smile disappeared. Are you serious right now? After everything we gave you? Everything you gave me? I repeated softly. His voice rose. We put a roof over your head. We fed you. And this is how you repay us. Other people in the lobby were starting to stare. Sir, I need you to lower your voice, I said. Don't tell me what to do. You ungrateful. Security stepped forward. Nathan looked around wildly, realizing he was making a scene. This isn't over, he hissed. He stormed out. I stood there, completely composed, while my heart hammered in my chest. That afternoon, Chloe sent me a furious message. If Dad loses everything, it's your fault. I hope you can live with yourself. I blocked her number. I could live with myself just fine. My mother showed up at my apartment 2 days later. She looked smaller somehow, older and ashamed. I let her in and made tea while she cried at my kitchen table. Nathan spent years poisoning Chloe against you, she confessed. He told her you were a burden, a mistake I made before meeting him. He made her believe you were trying to steal attention from her. I sipped my tea, listening. He did the same thing to you, she continued. Made you feel worthless so you'd never ask for anything. I watched it happen and I said nothing. I'm so sorry, Ivy. Her apology felt more genuine than before. But it still came too late. Why are you telling me this now? I asked. She wiped her eyes. Because you deserve the truth. And because Nathan always feared something. What? That you'd become more successful than Chloe. More successful than him. He saw your potential and it terrified him. So he tried to kill it. I sat back, absorbing this. Nathan hadn't rejected me because I was worthless. He rejected me because he saw what I could become. I finished my review the following week. The verdict was clear and undeniable. Based on objective criteria, documented violations, and program requirements, Nathan's company did not qualify for assistance. I submitted my final report to the board. No emotion. No personal commentary. Just facts supported by evidence and regulation. The decision wasn't mine alone. The entire board reviewed my findings. They asked questions. They verified documentation. They followed protocol perfectly. 3 days later, the board officially denied Nathan's funding request. The letter was sent to his business address. I wasn't copied on it, but I knew when he received it because my mother called, crying hysterically. How could you do this to us? She sobbed. I did my job, I said quietly. You wanted him to lose everything. No. I wanted the truth to matter. That's all. I hung up before she could respond. The downfall had begun, and it had nothing to do with revenge. It was simply consequences finally catching up to choices. Over the next month, Nathan's world collapsed like a house of cards. Without the grant, he couldn't secure other funding. Contractors pulled out. Employees quit to find stable work. Bills piled up faster than he could manage. The house went into pre-foreclosure. Chloe's social media went from vague complaints to desperate panic. My mother's calls became more frequent, more frantic. I stopped answering. Then one evening, there was pounding on my apartment door. I looked through the peephole and saw Nathan standing there, disheveled and desperate. His suit was wrinkled. His eyes were wild. I considered not opening the door. But something made me want to see this through. I opened it, keeping the chain lock engaged. "What do you want?" "I need to talk to you." "Please." I had never heard him say please to me before. I removed the chain and let him in. He stood in my small living room, looking completely out of place. Nathan broke down in a way I had never seen. He actually cried. Real tears, not the manipulative kind. "I'm losing everything, Ivy. The business, the house, everything I built. I need your help. Please." For the first time in my life, he called me by my name. Not kid, or her, or nothing at all. My actual name. He tried every tactic. Guilt about family. Manipulation about the past. Fake remorse about his mistakes. I know I wasn't perfect, but family helps family, right? You can fix this. You have connections. You have power here. I stood across from him, arms crossed, saying nothing. He kept talking, kept begging, kept making promises about being better. Finally, I spoke. "Where was this family when I was a child?" He froze. "What? Where was family when I brought you my honor roll certificate? Where was family during every achievement you ignored? Where was family when Chloe mocked me and you laughed? That was different. Where was family," I continued, "when I was just Hannah's baggage?" His face went pale. He remembered. I could see it in his eyes. "You said I was not your daughter," I said calmly. "You told me not to expect anything from you. Do you remember that day?" Nathan's mouth opened and closed. He tried to form words. I was frustrated. "I didn't mean, yes, you did. You meant every word. And you spent years proving it." He tried to justify it. Tried to explain how hard it was to blend families, how stressed he was, how young and stupid he had been. I let him talk until he ran out of excuses. Then I said something that stopped him cold. "You taught me what kind of person not to become." He stared at me. "What does that mean?" "It means I learned everything from watching you, Nathan. I learned that power without compassion is cruelty. That family means nothing without respect. That words have consequences. So this is revenge. No. This is me refusing to fix problems you created." I explained it to him clearly and calmly. I couldn't ethically rewrite the rules to save him. His business failed the requirements legitimately. There was no loophole, no special exception I could create without committing fraud. "But you could try," he pleaded. "You could recommend reconsideration. You could. I could compromise my integrity to rescue someone who destroyed my childhood." No. I walked to my desk and pulled out a folder. "Here's information on free financial literacy workshops. Debt counseling services. Resources for people in your situation." I handed it to him. He took it like it was contaminated. "That's it. That's all you're offering." "It's more than you ever offered me," I said. Nathan's face twisted with rage and despair. "You're really going to let us lose everything? Your mother will be homeless. My mother is an adult who made choices. So did you." He stood abruptly. "Chloe will hate you forever for this. Chloe already hates me. You made sure of that." He left without another word, slamming my door so hard a picture fell off the wall. Chloe's public meltdown happened within days. She posted long rants blaming me for her father's failures. She twisted the story, painting me as the villain who abandoned family out of spite. Mutual acquaintances reached out, asking for my side. I didn't respond to any of it. Ruby and Anthony became my anchors during the backlash. Ruby reminded me that people who mattered knew the truth. Anthony assured me my professional conduct had been flawless. Don't let other people's chaos shake your foundation, he said. I grew stronger through their support. I realized something profound during those weeks. I didn't need Nathan's validation anymore. I didn't need Chloe's approval. I didn't even need my mother's understanding. I had built my own life, my own worth, my own family through the people who actually cared. Then my mother called with shocking news. Her voice was different. Clearer. Stronger. Ivy, I'm leaving Nathan. I'm finally leaving him. I sat down slowly. What happened? I saw what he became when things got hard. Who he blamed. How he treated everyone. I can't do this anymore. My mother moved into a small apartment across town. She called it her starting over place. For the first time in 20 years, she was truly on her own. She reached out to me carefully, knowing she had no right to expect forgiveness. I'm not asking you to forget what I allowed, she said during one of our coffee meetings. I'm asking for a chance to do better. To build something real between us. I looked at this woman who had failed to protect me, who had chosen comfort over courage. But I also saw someone finally breaking free from her own prison. We can try, I said. But it won't be what it was. It can't be. I know. I just want something honest. Something real. We started slowly. Coffee once a week. Honest conversations. She told me things about Nathan I had never known. His insecurities. His need to control. His fear of anyone who might outshine him. He saw you as a threat from the beginning, she admitted. You were smart, capable, independent even as a child. Chloe needed him. You never did. That terrified him. Then came Nathan's final desperate move. He stormed into the non-profit building demanding to speak with the board directly. Security tried to stop him, but he caused such a scene that they called an emergency meeting. The board requested that I attend to answer questions about my review process. I sat calmly in that conference room while Nathan ranted about bias, family grudges, and unfair treatment. The board chair let him speak, then turned to me. Can you walk us through your evaluation process? I did. Step by step. Every regulation I had followed. Every document I had reviewed. Every standard I had applied. I showed them that 3 other cases had been denied that same week for similar violations. Nathan's case wasn't special. It was just treated fairly. The board asked Nathan if he disputed any of the documented violations. He couldn't. They were all real, all verified. The board chair delivered their decision. Mr. Harris, your application was reviewed thoroughly and fairly. The denial stands. Furthermore, due to this disruption, your company is banned from reapplying for 12 months. Nathan's face went red. He looked at me with pure hatred. Then he left. The business shut down completely 3 weeks later. Nathan and Chloe moved into a small rental on the outskirts of town. The house I grew up in was sold to cover debts. I heard about it all through my mother, who was navigating her own new life. The interesting thing was how quickly Chloe's attitude toward Nathan changed. When he couldn't provide for her anymore, when he couldn't be the successful father she bragged about, she turned on him. She blamed him for poor management. For ruining their lives. For not being smart enough to save the business. Nathan was experiencing what I had lived with for years, being resented by the people you tried to provide for. My mother told me he was spiraling. Bitter. Angry. Blaming everyone but himself. He asked to meet with you, she said one day. One last time. He wants to apologize properly. I thought about it for a long time. Did I need his apology? Did it matter anymore? Finally, I agreed. Not for him. For myself. To close this chapter completely. We met at a cheap diner on the edge of town. Nathan looked older, defeated, smaller than I remembered. He sat across from me, stirring his coffee without drinking it. Thank you for coming, he started. I wasn't sure you would. I almost didn't. He attempted an apology. Talked about his regrets, his mistakes, how he wished he had been different. But even his apology centered on himself. On his pain, his losses, his suffering. He never truly acknowledged what he had done to a 13-year-old girl who just wanted to be seen. I listened without emotion. This wasn't the powerful moment I had once imagined. It was just sad. A broken man trying to rewrite history to make himself feel better. When he finished, he looked at me with something desperate in his eyes. Do you still see me as a father figure? Any part of you? The question hung in the air. I considered lying to make this easier. But I had spent too many years hiding the truth. You were right, Nathan, I said calmly. I'm not your daughter. And I never needed to be. His face crumbled. I continued, my voice steady and clear. You taught me to survive without validation. To build worth from within. To never depend on people who see you as disposable. Those are valuable lessons, even if you didn't mean to teach them. I stood up and placed money on the table for my coffee. I hope you figure things out. I really do. But I can't be part of that journey. I walked away from that diner, from Nathan, from the last piece of my childhood that still had hooks in me. I walked away free. Later, I returned to my work helping families in crisis. I rebuilt a careful relationship with my mother based on honesty instead of obligation. I found peace without needing revenge fueled by hate. The revenge was simply this: I lived well. He lived with regret. Sometimes life gives you the perfect chance to let someone feel the emptiness they created. And the greatest victory isn't destruction. It's becoming so completely whole that their absence doesn't even leave a mark. If this story resonated with you, please let me know in the comments. Share your own experiences with setting boundaries and choosing yourself. And subscribe for more stories about finding strength in the hardest moments. You're not alone.